Hello everybody, we just got back from Adam C Fest, which was actually a really good show. I'm starting to get a little bit bored of shows as a show. That was probably like one of the best ones I can remember the last couple of years or whatever, so that was a good day. Now going down there we had a couple of issues, and remember my intake that I made that went into the wing? It worked amazing until when we went down there. It was raining really bad, almost killed the car, not gonna lie. It started raining really bad, and because I've not got a wheel arch on this side, it chucked up all the water into the filter and it got into the intake. It wet the mass sensor. Luckily the mass sensor got wet before any water got in there, so it was just like going not good. So we had to revert back to the filter inside here. Luckily I could get it out, but I've ordered a wheel arch to put that in, and we are going to run it because it does heat soak. What else happened? Oh yeah, changed the coolant temperature sensor last video as well. When we got to Adam C Fest and we was on the top 25 bit, it was pissing out coolant, literally like pissing out coolant, which is not fun. So anyway, because I changed it over so quickly, I didn't think I had to bleed the system. So what happened is it got air in there and it was just bubbling over this coolant, bubbling. Lost a ton of coolant because it got so hot. Not the car, like the temperature was fine, but it got hot here and it was just bubbling over the coolant. So we bled that at Adam C Fest, topped it up, and it's been fine the whole way home. So that's fixed. I was like, oh my god, is the head gasket gone? And I was like, wait, what have I done differently? Change that coolant temperature sensor. What did I not do? Bleed it. Now, it's still down on power, obviously, and in the last episode you've seen that we couldn't compression test it because the compression tester weren't going in the thing enough. I came up with an idea. So here's my compression tester thing, and it's just been hitting the side of the cylinder wall on this bit here. I came up with that. It might work, it might not work. We're filming it in case it does work. I'm going to get a grinder and I'm just going to smooth down these edges and just make it not such a fat edge. So I'm just going to grind down this bit and it should sit in and screw into the thing. I shouldn't need to take much off because it's literally just touching it. But if I just flat this to a taper with my grinder, it should slide into the cylinder and screw in, because I really want to see if it's got low compression or not, because right now there's no point me just jumping at straws and changing things, crunching at straws, when it could just be a fucked engine. So we're gonna give it a go anyway. As I might. What? What? Okay, so let's just flat down the edge of this, see how nice we can get this. Okay, so before we disconnect the fuel pump, we're gonna just see if this is threading in. I'm quite confident that it's gonna work. Seal still sits on there as well, so I've just flattened it off around the edges. This doesn't thread in then. Why is it still not threading in? I've got the right one. No, it's not threading in. Okay, so I've tapered it off as best as I can. Now, it won't go in with the seal. It will screw in now, but it won't go in with that rubber seal. So I'm just going to do it without the seal, and hopefully the threads just seal it enough. Okay, there we go. Right, we're threaded on. Right. So, now come here. Now, luckily on these, they've got an inertia switch, which if you're in a crash, disconnects the fuel pump. That is just in here. So if we disconnect this, there will be no fuel, or we can just give it a tap. Sometimes that will just pop up, but it's not doing it. So we're just going to disconnect it. I might need a flathead just to get in there. Disconnect that, and then we're just going to pull the coil packs, and then we're going to do the compression test. We can do it. I'm so scared. Okay, so with the fuel pump disconnected, we're going to just start the car till it dies. Might be pretty quick. It might take a few minutes. We'll do that till it dies. Getting all the fuel out the lines.
5 minutes later. 5 minutes later.
Fair play to the girl. Okay, we're going to cut the clip here. It will die in a minute, I promise. Okay, so for some reason, that wasn't killing the car. It was trying to die, but it just wasn't. So I'm just going to pull the injectors out instead. So we're going to pull the injectors out, so there's going to be no fuel squirting inside the cylinder when we're doing this test. So we're going to start on this one. We're going to unplug all the coil packs. And then you can either just take them out one by one and do one cylinder at a time, or just pull them all out. So we're just going to pull all of the coil packs out, but we're going to keep the spark plugs in each one. So we're just going to pull one spark plug, do that cylinder, and then just go along. Saves us pulling all the spark plugs out, and then just like the risk of something getting inside the piston when we're doing this. So let's take all the spark plugs out, well, all the coil packs, and then we can do it. Coil packs are off. Now what we're going to do is, I don't know what number I'm looking for, but the main thing is that they're all consistent. So they're all the same PSI across the whole board. Okay, first cylinder. Okay, what you could hear there is a bit of pressure coming out of the cylinder. So I kind of feel like I need that seal on, because you can hear it going tch, tch. So a bit of the pressure's coming past. That's why it's only going to like 100 psi. It would be going to a lot more, but I can feel the pressure going past. So let me see if I can get a better seal in there. Okay, I've managed to put a seal above it. It's still leaking out a little bit, but at least we'll be able to get a good reading. So yeah, go on. It's still leaking through, so these aren't going to be... Right, so it's still leaking out a little bit, I can hear it, but at least we'll be able to get an idea if anything is low. So that one with my camera is so annoying. So that cylinder, again, it's low, but I can hear it coming outside of it. It's the best we can do. That's like just over 100. So we'll use the same technique on every single one. Now, although it's not a true reading, we'll be able to see if one cylinder is lower than the other. So just over 105 on that one. It's literally stuck in the cylinder. This is the world's shittest compression test I've ever bought. Right, I managed to get it off. I've got a screwdriver in there, tapped it down, because my idea was that what's probably happened is, because it's not been threading in nice, the compression's like pushed it and like locked it on one of the threads. So I've tapped it down, hopefully to lodge it off that thread, and then it unscrewed. Fucking piece of shit. I don't know why that is. I'm guessing the only thing I can think of is that when I've been grinding that down, it's just knocked over and just mislodged one of her. Because don't forget, you can only tighten it by hand. So the thread needs to be fucking perfect for it to thread in. Or the threads just aren't perfect on the engine. And obviously I'm not knowing it because you're tightening it with a socket. So either way, I'm fucking pissed off. I would have been mega pissed off if I didn't get that out. I'm fuming because I just want to, at least I know that one cylinder's got a compression. Good one, 7 more to go. I just need one with like a really long thread, and that'll work. So maybe I'll see if I can just buy one of those separately, like a long thread. I don't know. V8s are great, but fucking really annoying. What we can do real quick, these are called quick testers, and you just put it on the spark plug tube and you can feel the compression. So it's not going to tell you an actual reading of what you're getting, but you'll be able to tell by feeling if one of them is lower than the others. So we're just going to do this on all 8 quickly. It takes 2 seconds, spark plug out, hold it, and then you'll be able to feel the compression. This tells you if it's actually getting compression on each cylinder. If one's really low, you'll be able to tell by using this. If one is kind of just a tiny little bit lower, you won't, but it's better than doing nothing. So put this, pull in a spark plug tube, apply some amount of pressure. Okay, crank. And try to remember that kind of pressure. Right. So we've got compression on every cylinder. I'll put in the Mustang page what other people are what are these using for the compression testings. I might just try to find like a long, thin one on eBay. But the thing is, I fucked up both the ends on that house, so that tester's ruined. So I might just have to get a new tester with like a long, thin one. Ideally, one you can actually screw in, because these hand ones are fucking shit. Because if the thread's not perfect, it's not going to thread in. So I've seen one on eBay, like an actual long thing, and they've got a screw in, so you can actually tighten them in with a socket. That'll be ideal. That's what I need. But everything is getting some compression. I do want to just rule it out fully and get a proper compression test to know what every cylinder is doing and if that's low all around. But yeah, so I'm going to continue this video when I've got one of those. Okay, so we just had True Rally to the Nürburgring. It was amazing, but I know this is a weird cut to the video, but we're back. And just before I left, I ordered a tool, which I'm pretty sure is what we need. So I've got like a long extension. This is the right thread for the Mustang, for the cylinder. And this is long and hard, oh yeah. But it's got a spanner thing at the end of it, so I can actually tie it in properly and unscrew it properly without the threads getting stuck. And also, well, and this one's got a new O-ring on it as well. So we're going to screw that in to the Mustang, and then I think our original kit will work with this. So let's just get this damn compression test out of the way. Okay, so that threaded into the cylinder. I'm using an 18mm, and that's threaded in nice, so that's nice and tight. And I'm hoping I can just reuse this one. So the gasket is on there, I've just hand tightened that in. So I'm going to put the compressor on the end here, or the gauge, and then hopefully we get an accurate reading. Right, so it's definitely not an accurate reading. I can hear it leaking out of here a little bit, but at least I'll be able to get, it should be more than that. When we first did the first test, it was like 100 and something, so, but it'll be able to tell us if a cylinder is lower than the other. That's the main thing. I can hear it leaking out of there just a little bit, so it should be a little bit higher, but as long as we just keep the same test the whole way around, we'll be able to see if anything's low. So I've pulled this out, and the O-ring is somewhere in the cylinder. I'm actually starting to hate this car now. Like, these simple compression tests shouldn't be this fucking difficult. I shouldn't have to buy 4 different kits with 4 different fucking O-rings. I've just tried another O-ring off another one because this O-ring was a bit shit and it wouldn't go down to the cylinder. So I had to use this specific O-ring of the specific kit without specific. It's such a fucking joke. And now it fell into the fucking cylinder. My battery's dying. Honestly, I'm starting to get fucking annoyed with this piece of shit. I really am. So even just to finish this test off, I've got to flat down an O-ring because the O-ring has to be the perfect size to fit into the fucking cylinder. But it's not as simple as that because there's so much shit in the way and it's such a poorly positioned engine. Can't get anything in it. Everything just gets in the fucking way. Honestly. Oh my god, this is so annoying. Right, cheers. Managed to get this last one in. Fuck knows I'm going to get this one in round next to the fuel rail, honestly, but I'm going to have to do it. Everything is good so far. Everything's on 6 bar or between 6.5, so everything's good so far. I hope that when we've been pushing it, that O-ring's been popped out of there by the pressure. If not, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do to get that out, to be honest with you. I'm hoping it'll just fucking, hopefully there's only a little bit of residue and then it just melts off and fucking goes out. Right, I've managed to just lift this side up because we've got the injectors unplugged. Nothing's come out of the injectors, so with that actually in, I'm just going to tighten it down and just pop the injectors back on just so nothing fucking flies off anywhere. Now it should be good. Right, go up. Cool. Everything's fine. It did the same thing to this O-ring in here, and I literally just tightened it by hand. I tried to undo it and it won't come out, so the O-ring's probably getting stuck. The cylinder wall's that tight in there. The O-ring's probably getting stuck at the side. Anyway, what's it done? Instead of just dropping the whole O-ring, it's just disintegrated the O-ring into like a load of million different pieces. So I guess that's what's happened to the same thing. So I just turned the engine over and it just went, it just blew all the dust out for the rubber. So fucking hell, what a joke of a car to compression test on. But everything's fine. Everything's getting between 6 and 6.5 bar across all cylinders. That's not a true reading. It was going up like 100 on the first time I did it. But if you have a look, what I had to do with this tester, I've had to cut them all down just to make them fit into the cylinder wall. So there's no O-ring around this bit and I can feel the air and see the air coming out. So as long as it's getting all across all the same cylinders, that's good. But it's getting 6.5 bar on all cylinders. So however much of a bastard that was to do, it has passed the compression test. So we've got a lot of things to do this week. We've got a drift day on Saturday and I've got a lot of things to do. But today I'm really annoyed. This is just a bad start to the day of what's happened today, and it's raining and I'm just not in the mood and I've got a lot of true rally stuff to do. So I'm going to find one of those other things to do another day. So for now, compression test passed. Maybe let's get some coil packs and maybe let's try that. Well, first of all, let's just get a dyno and see if it's actually low on power. Okay, so just before we end the video, I've just gapped the plugs. The plugs were really too short. It was a 0.3 gap. Now look at the specs of this car. It should be a 0.54. Now you don't want a gap too small, it's not creating a big enough spark. You don't want a gap too big, otherwise it's going to get a chance it's going to get blown out. So we gapped the plugs up to what they should be. They were miles out. And I also found there was a huge vacuum leak in the back of the EGR valve, the EVATs, is what everyone will call it. there's two lines, there's one there, there's one here. Only one was plugged in, so I had a massive exhaust leak from here and a massive vacuum leak from here. So I found some fuel line, I've now put that in, there's no vacuum leak there. I've also found that in this, on the EGR valve here, whatever you want to call it, one of the bolts are missing. So there was a vacuum leak here, so I found the new bolt, put that in, and I think that's all the vacuum leaks. A vacuum leak would cause a lack of power. Now a good way to test a vacuum leak, it's a bit dangerous, have the car running, get some propane or something like this, something flammable, turn it on, right, and just go around the car and just brush this. Now what will happen is, because this is flammable, if it gets into the vacuum leak, it will raise the idle of the car or cause it to put out because it's obviously flammable. So just do this. It's a bit dangerous. If there's a bit of fuel anyway, you'll just get a little bit of a flame. It won't be crazy. And just go over where all the vacuum leaks are. It smells really bad, but if the idle isn't jumping up and down, then you've not got any vacuum leaks. So I've got a couple more things to do before the drift day on Saturday, but we're going to do this another day because I've got to get a lot of True Value stuff done. So this is the end of this video. We're going to start doing some more content on the other cars as well, a little bit more. It's just because I keep booking in drift days and this thing's never ready, so I have to just rinse the content on the Mustang. But hopefully that's made a difference to the engine with the gut post gap and those vacuum leaks sorted. Time will tell. But for now, love you all. See you in the next video. We've got a lot more things to do before Saturday. Love you all. See you in the next one.